Hello everyone and welcome to the final race of 2017 in the Formula SimRacing X Championship. Today we are racing from Interlagos in Brazil. I am your commentator today, Cameron Rodger, and I'm here with Sergi Heras.
Hello.
Yeah, so this should be quite an exciting race. This is one of the best tracks on the calendar, I have to say. It always brings up a really good race, and we may not have the biggest field in the world today. However, we do have some nice drivers. The championship has been wrapped up by Sander Callas, and the constructors was wrapped up by his team Netrex. But a little bit further down in the drivers' championship, we still have some fighting. Felix van Delft and Lucas Schmidt are only 1 point apart going into this final race of the season. So this should be quite an exciting race to see them battle it out for the podium in the championship.
Yeah, I think it's the most interesting thing today on the race. Even though we only have 13 drivers, seems. But it's gonna be interesting who gets that third place on the championship.
Yeah, Felix has he's won a race this season. There's only been 4 race winners. Felix, Rudy Van Buren, Sander Callas, and Sergi Heras, yourself. So Felix has won a race this year, but he has actually missed quite a few races. But Lucas Schmidt, he's been consistently in the top 5 really all season. So they're definitely both very quick and should be a good battle today. So looking at the times the drivers are out on their laps, Danny Van Der Neat is leading with a 10.4, so looking at some practice times, there's definitely still quite a bit of room for improvement in that lap time with the 2 Invictus cars of Ivan and Arek doing low 11s themselves.
We might have some nice surprise on the battle for the lead today. I saw before switching to the qualifying session that Fernando Alvarez was close to the fastest time. So we might have a 4 or 5 battle for the lead today.
Yeah, with the 2 long straights, the slipstream should be quite good, and if some drivers are running a slightly higher downforce setup, which you can do around this track, maybe we'll see some nice battling, and the pack probably won't open up that much on this track because of that, because you can get slipstream all the way up this long back straight through the final kinks. So looking at some times now, we've got Victor Ivanov, who's coming up around the final couple of kinks, and he has gone purple in the first 2 sectors. He is looking to take provisional pole, staying right to the inside. What is he going to do? A 1:10.0. So that is fastest by some 0.3 of a second right now, and the Bulgarian takes pole position, provisional.
Yeah, the driver I was talking about before is at the moment getting 2nd position.
Yeah, for Fernando Alvarez, he's relatively new to Ace. He only started, I think it was Singapore, which was I think 4 races ago now. So he's still pretty new to FSR, but he has definitely shown some good pace in the last few races. And at the moment, he's faster than Schkoa and Van Der Neat, who've been pretty fast all season. So he's doing very well.
Yeah, I think this track also is a very good track to watch races, because being a very short track, it can give you battles between drivers that are not relatively close on other tracks. because distances get very close here.
Well, yeah, already the the times are already pretty close. I mean, Alvarez, well, basically down to Kulak, is only a few tenths separating those 6 drivers, so it's definitely very close, as we would expect.
Barber sector 1 for Schmidt.
Yes, let's ride on board with him. He's coming round up to the final corner. What is he going to do in the middle sector? He is, well, he's basically gone almost identical in the middle sector, so this is going to be very close with Viktor Ivanov. Does he have a straight line speed in the final sector to keep up? What can he do? And he goes to provisional, only 700ths quicker. That is very close between Lucas Schmidt and Viktor Ivanov after their first laps. It definitely looks like these two are going to be battling for pole position as it stands, although Felix van Delft has not done a lap yet. Christoph Schoer is on a lap right now. He is only 1/10 down in the first sector. Christoph, he's had a bit of a mediocre season, however, he has done some very good performances at times, and there's a couple of races where he could have actually got a win. So maybe this is a race where he can step up and potentially take a win. But Viktor Ivanov's gone purple in the middle sector. He's come to the line just ahead of Christoph. Can he take back provisional pole position? Yes, he can, by 5,000ths of a second. God, Lucas and Viktor are going to be very close. And Christoph takes P3, only 1/10 off. So again, very close at the top there. I wonder if we'll see anyone drop into the 9s, because there have been 1-minute 9s in practice. So we're very close to that, and I'm sure in a couple of laps, on their final runs, maybe they can make it into the 1-minute 9. Felix van Delft coming around the final corner. Having missed a couple of races, he's had to get used to this car again, and he is doing not too bad with his sex times. This is probably going to put him around P5, P6. What's he going to get? Yeah, P5 with a 110.3. Very close to Fernando for P4.
Gonna go on board with Chatsi Pantelis. He's on a quite good first sector.
Yeah, George actually led the race last time out in Kota, and an unfortunate incident with Viktor Ivanov, he possibly could have won that race. So let's see if on his, I think his 3rd run now, see what he can do coming up to the line.
I think he will be going for P4. Let's see. Yep.
Yeah, looking at the top speeds, all the drivers have pretty consistent times throughout, only changed by about 4 kilometers. So doesn't seem there's anyone who's actually gone with a ridiculously low downforce, which is interesting to see. They've all gone, well, sort of medium to high downforce on this track, which you do really need for qualifying, because as you can see, the times are so close. If you just gain 1/10, it can be potentially 2 or 3 positions, and qualifying is relatively important.
I don't see any driver at the moment improving their times. Gonna go on board with Lucas Smith starting his lap.
The other drivers seem to be doing a pretty similar run pattern, so they were just all in the pit lane refueling, getting new tyres, and now they are back out. And yes, Lucas Schmidt is on onto another lap. He is always a couple of tenths down in that first sector, but he would like some. He's going to have to try really hard in this middle sector. Well, yeah, his ACR car is looking nice through that turn 6 and 7 complex. He's very aggressive. Wow, yes, he's abandoning that lap. He was very aggressive on the downshifts there. Yeah, clearly wasn't feeling that lap, and abandons it. Pedro Gomez is on a lap. He has done a pretty decent first sector. Pedro actually raced last year for OFR, Origin Front Row Racing, in the first half of the season, and then he left, but he's come back for the last few races here in FSR, and I believe he's on his final lap already with 8 minutes to go. As he improved in his middle sector, he's just coming up to the beam right now. Yes, he's on a green, so this is looking good for him. He's only 7 tenths off the pole, so with a few tenths improvement, maybe he can get sort of P8 where Fabian Ruth is, come around the final kinks, keeping it tight to the wall. What can he do? He goes P8, yes, just ahead of Fabian with a 10.4. Again, lap times are very, very close here.
Yeah, let's take a look now at Tarek Kulak. It's improving his first sector. Again, it might not seem a lot, but improving half a tenth on this track, it's quite a lot. And he's improving 3 tenths and a half now on the second sector.
Yeah, a bit of a wiggle there coming out the final corner. Yeah, P10 for him on that lap, a 10.5. Again, only half a second off pole.
Yeah, a shame that oversteering moment that he had, because maybe he lost the 10th, thinking he could have been like P6.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. With another 10th, he would have been 2 places higher. So maybe on his actually no, that's all his laps actually. Kulak has done all his laps. The same with Ivan Fernandez, as they only get 12 physical laps, so that is including in laps and out laps. So you basically get 4 runs, so in lap, fast lap, no, out lap, fast lap, in lap 4 times. So he has used all of them, so we won't be seeing him again. So that is him maximum P10 right now. We have Viktor Ivanov. He is on a purple middle sector. This is going to be very close to his current lap time, I think, looking at his first sector as well. What can he do? Oh, he gets into the 1 minute 9s. 1 minute 9.915. 1/10 faster than Lucas Schmidt. Lucas Schmidt is coming out now for another run, so we will see what he does in a couple of minutes.
And Fernando Alvarez gets up to P3.
Oh, yeah, and he's having a little glitch with his teammate right now in the pit lane. That is interesting. Danny van der Neet, he is coming into the middle sector right now. He is down again, just an average first sector compared to the pole time.
Just in front of him we have Felix van Delft, who is not improving his first sector, but it's not a bad first sector.
Oh, Danny abandons, but yeah, Felix, he is coming round. He has done. Well, his middle sector is 3 tenths off Victor, so he may be able to get 1 position on George here. Looking at his first sector, what can he do? Yes, he takes George for P5, and that is only 3 tenths off the pole position so far. Christoph Show again. Pushing very hard into this middle sector through the 3 hairpins in a row. Car's looking quite nice though, to be fair. What can he do on the timing sheet, no, he backs out of that. So he's still got 1 run left, so he can still improve if he wants.
And Fabian Roth is 2.5 tenths up.
Yes, he is. He again, he's not that far off Victor's time. Looking at it, so can he get a couple of places? Yes, jumps up to P5. Big improvement from Fabian Roth. Does a 10.239. Still at 1 run left. Oh, Lucas Schmidt is not improving so far. But again, it's not the worst time in the world. Maybe he can get a couple of hundredths. What can he do? No, he doesn't improve. He does not improve on that lap. But he did go faster in the 3rd sector. And we've got a debutant, Miguel de los Rios, butchered that name, in P12. And it seems like he's doing multiple laps actually, because he's just finished the lap but he's gone on to another one. And this is his 12th lap, so he needs to be careful, because if he finishes this he will get a disqualification automatically by the game for doing too many laps. Yeah, he is in P12, last of the laps runners, because it seems Dimitri is starting from the pits, or back at the grid even. Danny Van Der Neet is coming around the final corner. He has done a personal best in the middle sector, which was only 1/10 of Victor Ivanov. However, his first sector wasn't quite as good. Or maybe he can improve. This is his last lap. What can he do? Yes, he improves, but he doesn't gain a position. He stays in 8th place. So that is 8th place for the Netrex driver, and the guys will be going out for their final laps very shortly, if they haven't already.
Yeah, Sugar abandons its lap, and Chansey Pantelis is improving his first sector.
Yeah, I hope. Might start the final corner a little bit, but I hope he gets a good qualifying position so he can actually show some nice pace in the race today. But will he be improving on his lap time? He's very close to the 2 guys in front. What can he do? No, he does not improve. Though, is he doing a 2-lap run? He might be, he's going again. Where is Victor? Victor is coming around the penultimate corner. He's not improving oh, he's gone purple in the middle sector though. Oh, and he got some wheel spin there. That's a shame for him. Who we got? Lucas Schmidt. He's just about to start a lap. Same with Fabian and Felix. So the person on lap right now is Fernando Alvarez. Not bad first sector. A 17.2, which is, well, about 0.5 off the fastest. So, all very aggressive into turn 6 there. Trying to keep it flat on the entry. Using a lot of steering up through that corner. And again. Can he challenge Lucas Schmidt in the middle sector? He's gone personal best in the middle sector. Maybe he can improve. I see Schmidt is also doing... Fernando abandons that lap, so Schmidt is the furthest ahead. He is doing a pretty decent first sector right now. Sure, he wants that pole position a lot. has not had a race win this season, so this is a good opportunity for him. Decent middle sector. Can he get the drive up the hill? Fabian Roof abandoned that lap. Luke Schmidt, can he take pole position? No, he can't. He does not improve. So we look back to Felix van Delft, who has done a personal best middle sector, very close to Victor Ivanov's purple. And yes, he does improve. Felix goes to third with a 1:10.105. So that is where he will start. So your poleman is Victor Ivanov, followed by Lucas Schmidt and Felix van Delft. So I think we are going. Sergi, are you going to try and show the pole position time? The pole position.
I'm gonna look fast for the pole position.
It was Victor's third flying lap. Yeah, it was his third one. Yeah, so that is, I think that is Victor Ivanov's first ever pole lap, I think, in FSR. So this is a good chance for him or Schmidt to get a win, because as I said, Felix is the only one on the grid who's actually won a race this season, because the other three are not racing. Okay, so the downtime right now is just because it's the final race of the season. We have a slightly different way of the penalty system. So drivers are currently checking their laps, and they can choose to take a penalty now if they did cut in qualifying. So we're just giving them a couple of minutes to check, and then we will move on with the warm up. And it does seem that Miguel de los Rios actually did get a DQ, so he will start last. He did 13 out of the 12 laps that you are allocated.
We just saw the Victor Ivanov pole position, and it's curious to see that some drivers are really smooth around the corners and some of them are very aggressive. And with those two different driving styles, most of the drivers are fast, even though having different styles.
Yeah, Victor is a very conservative driver, and he likes a very balanced, slightly understeery car. So he likes to just be very consistent. So hopefully, him or Schmidt can take their debut victories today, because that will be a nice way to round out this ace season. So Sergi, what are you thinking about this race today?
I think it will
What's
be
your
a very
prediction?
interesting race because, for example, imagine that the first one start battling and maybe Chatri Pantel is a very aggressive driver and fast on the first laps. He gets an undercut on them, and then we can have Chatri Pantelis train, or who knows we can have. It can be a very interesting race. Strategy is going to be very important, and being the drivers that make no mistakes on the track and maybe on the strategy too, those will be the ones who will get the chance to win this race.
Yeah, the strategy is quite interesting around this track because the prime tires are actually just as good as the options, really, because, well, basically just because the amount of corners and how close they are, the tires sort of overheat a little bit. So the primes are actually quite good around this track. So in the past this season, we have actually seen people go long on the first stint on the option tires. But basically to get the overcut, because when you come out on the second stint, you'll have a heavy car because we have refueling. But today we might see people trying an undercut because the options will start to become slower significantly as the stint gets quite long. So definitely look out for the undercut today because that is a possibility.
Yeah, and drivers should look after too, very especially about track position, because I don't think it will be very easy to overtake around this track without the RS.
Well, it's definitely not going to be easy, but it's definitely possible. Yeah, there's definitely opportunities. So, well, especially for instance, the final corner, it's not easy to get that corner perfect. So you can easily lose a couple of tenths or slide the rear a little bit, lose a bit of momentum, and then someone will be right in your slipstream if they're not already. But slipstream is very powerful because of how long the run is from the final corner up to turn 1.
We'll see if drivers made their 7th gear good enough for overtaking, as we've seen around the season sometimes that some drivers had a very short 7th gear.
Yeah, you do sort of need a shorter 7th gear because this car, especially when you have slightly medium to high wing, this car really struggles with the drag when you get to about 300 plus kilometers. So people generally run a shorter 7th gear so that they can effectively push through the drag a bit easier. But then obviously when you're in a slipstream, you're going to have a shorter gear and you won't be able to slipstream as much because you'll end up banging off the rev limiter and you won't get the same amount of gain in terms of speed. So we have seen that this season, and I hope no one's under-geared the car because, as I said, the straight is really long. So if you get in the slipstream, you'll just keep on getting it, and especially through the final kink by the pit entry, that's when you really start to feel the slipstream affecting you quite a lot. So right now the order in warm-up is actually very similar to the order of qualifying, because Victor is first and Lucas Schmidt is second.
Hey, wake up.
So today we do have live weather here in FSR, but looking at the the weather plugin that we use, it is 32 centigrade out, so it's very hot. I hope drivers put on enough radiator to finish the race. But it does not look like there is going to be any rain, but you never know. We got rain in Bahrain.
Anything's possible.
Anything is possible, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna do now a short break and run a couple of ads, and we'll be right back.
Okay, and we are back here just for the last few minutes of warm-up. And your poleman Viktor Ivanov is still leading a warm-up, so he is definitely he's definitely looking good for this race. However, Lucas Schmidt is not far behind.
The interesting thing about this track is that, for example, what I like as a viewer of this track and I dislike as a driver is that anyone can be close to the victory. Even if a driver in a long track can be 2 seconds of pole, then here he can be 0.5 seconds of pole and he can fight for the win. And that as a driver, that's what I don't like as a driver, because I like to be on the top, and that doesn't help to have a close fight on the top, because a lot of people join the battle. But on the other side, it's good for the viewers because we have more interesting races around here.
Yeah, I definitely think there's a quite a good chance that we might see potentially a new person on the podium today. Well, because looking at it, Fernando Alvarez, Fabian Ruth, Chetsi Pantelis, they haven't had podiums in Ace. Well, definitely not this season. So potentially, it's a chance for one of them to grab a podium here if they can do some good laps.
Let's hope we have a clean start for everyone, and that everyone can continue the race after turn 1.
Yeah, yeah. I hope they take it quite well, sensibly. I won't say cautiously because we want to see them go and have a race, but I'd say sensibly because there is 71 laps around here, so there's plenty of opportunities, especially coming through the middle sector on lap 1 as well, where it's gonna get very, very tight. Okay, so just the last Few seconds of warm up here. At the end of warm-up, your poleman Victor Ivanov is fastest, and Lucas Schmidt, who starts alongside him, is also in second. So, yeah, this is gonna be a very nice race. Okay. Let's go to the race.
Attention grid, will all non-essential personnel leave the grid now?
So we have the drivers lining up on the grid for today's Brazilian Grand Prix. This is the final race of the season in the Formula SimRacing X Championship for 2017. We have 71 laps today, because this is a 4.3 kilometer circuit, so it is slightly shorter circuit than we see on the calendar. But that means we get a lot of laps for racing. So today's grid, you have your poleman Victor Ivanov, his first pole position in Formula SimRacing, followed by Lucas Schmidt from ACR. In third is Felix van Delft, and one battle in the championship to look out for today is Felix and Lucas. They are 1 point apart. Felix is leading that, so it's basically whoever beats who today gets third in the drivers. So that is definitely something to look out for. I'm sure they want to finish on the end of year podium. In fourth, we have Fernando Alvarez from Invictus Motorsports. Fifth is Christoph Schkoer. Sixth, Fabian Ruth. Seventh, George Chatzipantelis. 8th, Danny Van Den Eet. 9th, Pedro Gomez. 10th, Arik Kulak. 11th, Ivan Fernandez. 12th, Miguel de los Rios, and in his debut in Formula SimRacing. And 13th, starting from the pit lane, is Dmitry Zaharov. The Victor's got to his pit box very quickly. That is not the most ideal thing to do, because it is 32 degrees out there. His engine is going to be getting nice and toasty. But yes, let's hope we all get through turn 1. So the drivers are all lined up. Lights coming on. And it's go, go, go! And they are racing. We have Victor Ivanov. He's keeping his lead into turn 1 from Lucas Schmidt, it seems. And there's some battling behind with an ACR car and Danny Van Den Eet going round the outside of Fabian Ruth. but Victor leads down into turn 4. We've got some teammates battling Christoph and Chase Pantelis, and oh, they crash! The two teammates come together down into turn 4. Danny Van Den Eet was involved in that as well, but I think he was a bit of a bystander. And Chase Pantelis, he continues in turn 5, but in P5 even. But Christoph Schoer down when there's been another crash in the back. Who was that? That was Fabian Roof, and now Arik Kulak has been hit as well. That's a shame for him. So bit of chaos going on here in the first lap, in the tricky first and second sectors. It seems everyone is continuing with no damage though, and Dmitry Zarov has already caught up the back of the field, starting from the pit lane. But as we complete this first racing lap, Viktor Ivanov is leading from Lucas Schmidt by half a second, and Felix van Delft is in third. So the top 5 getting a tiny gap here, as Ivan Fernandez is a few seconds off Chatsi Pantelis after that first lap. And Chatsi Pantelis goes down the inside of Ivan Fernandez, but doesn't make the moves.
Yeah, we have 2 battles at the same time. Danny Van Den Eet is... Oh, he overtook side by side. No, he didn't. He's trying to overtake Fabian Ruth. And at the same time, Chatsi Pantelis is fighting with Fernando Alvarez.
Yeah, Chase Pantelis is looking very aggressive up into turn 6. He was sort of weaving a bit to say, look, I'm here, I'm coming to overtake you. But we'll see if he can do that in the coming corners and laps. So yeah, Danny Van Den Eet's very close to Fabian Roof, slightly stuck. I'm sure he is not happy about that, because he was just a bit of a bystander into that turn 4 collision. He sort of had to go around the outside because he couldn't make it to the racing line. So that is him down in 10th position. And he's now going for a dive on Fabian Roof, and he makes it stick. That's quite a nice move there. But Fabian will now get the slipstream down into turn 4, and he is very close. He is right underneath the hood of Danny Van Den Eet. He's going on the inside of turn 4. Can he make... No, he can't. Danny brakes later. Nice braking from him. When they're still fighting up into turn 6. No, they're not. So yeah, back at the front, Victor is still leading. Yeah, good job from him so far. He's got a 9/10 lead to Lucas Schmidt. But it is very close. Oh, Pedro Gomez is out of the race. What happened there? He got suspension damage. Let's have a look.
Yeah, let's see the replay.
He pulled over, so he must have got damage at the start. But oh, Felix is going around the outside of Lucas into turn 1 as I say that, and yeah, that was a nice move by Felix. Round the outside, he gets the ACR driver and is now into 2nd place behind Victor. But yeah, it just seems Pedro Gomez, he must have picked up damage somewhere on the opening 2 laps and decided to park the car.
Let's take a look at Felix overtake, as we missed that. We were showing the Pedro Gomez DNF.
Yeah, it was a nice move by Felix, I have to say. Bit of a classic move down into turn 1 on this lap.
And we missed now Chatsi Pantelis overtake. Let's show a replay about that now.
Yeah, a lot of action here at the beginning.
Yeah, guys, please make it a little bit
not
nasty
yet.
action.
Not yet. Yeah, Chase Pantelis is now on the back of Lucas Schmidt, who obviously lost some time with Felix on that last lap. But oh my god! Wow! George broke unbelievably late into turn 1, almost rams the back of Schmidt. Holy wow! That was very close to taking out the ACR driver, and he is now back behind Alvarez. But that was unbelievably close to taking out Lucas. Wow, he was banging off the rev limiter at 324, and then broke a lot later, went on the grass, and only lost 1 position from that.
Oh, something happened to Danny.
Oh, yes, let's have a look.
Wasn't a close battle on 3 wide on turn 3.
Oh yes, he went down the inside of someone and Miguel, and yeah, there's a bit of contact. Can't really make out whose fault that was. It was very tight. And yeah, Danny got spun around from that, unfortunately for him. But he is now down at the back of the field.
Let's go now on board with Christoph's course, trying to overtake on turn 1.
Yes, he's going down the inside of Fabian roof, that is, and yeah, he makes the roof a tiny bit of contact, but no harm done there. So yeah, Christoph, yeah, unfortunately for him, that first lap incident, yeah, he's got a bit of work to do now. He's 11 seconds off the lead, but with his pace, I'm sure he can definitely potentially get into the top 5. So Danny Van Den Neet is now on the back of Dmitry Zakharov after his little spin, and Zakharov is on the prime tyres, so he is taking a slightly different. Oh, and Danny goes down the inside. No, now around the outside of the penultimate corner. Tiny bit of contact with Dmitry, but that was very close on the bumps. Yeah, so Danny is now up into 11th, but yeah, Dmitry is on the prime tyres, and as far as I can tell, he's the only person on the prime tyres at the moment, so he is going to be going quite long. I don't think a one-stop is possible around this track, because you will have to run on unbelievably high fuel, but maybe he's going for 2 fast option stints at the end. So it looks like Victor does actually have the same race pace as his qualifying. He's doing some decent lap times, mid-11s right now, and yeah, he's just got a tiny gap to Felix right now. However, Felix is pretty much the same times actually, although he lost a bit of time in the middle sector on the previous lap. So I don't think Victor's going to run away with this one. Felix is definitely there with Lucas at the moment. So as this is the final race of the season, we could have a little talk about the races and how they've gone this season. And the beginning part and the sort of middle part of the season was definitely dominated by Sander Kallas. He won almost every race apart from Istanbul, which Sergi Heras won, Canada, where Felix won, and Melbourne, where Rudy Van Buren won. And yeah, Rudy Van Buren, who was the world's fastest gamer in rFactor and is in the final 3 of the whole competition now, that is going on, or has been going on this week. So yeah, he came in to our race in Melbourne, and well, he took the field by storm. He won the race from Felix, I think it was, and yeah, he definitely showed his class before moving up to WC for a few races. But yeah, this season Felix has been one of those one of those drivers who's been pretty consistent when he's raced. He has definitely put the challenge to Sander Callas, and apart from Melbourne, he's the only person to actually beat Callas on track. I think I'm right in saying that. So he's definitely got the speed in him, and Schmidt has also been there, but he's not quite had the pace throughout every single race. But he's definitely done very well. He was in the Pro Championship last year, and he won the Turkish Grand Prix last year in Pro before moving up to Ace near the end of the season and continuing this year. And Victor, he hasn't had the best season that he could have had. He did have a broken wrist, which meant he lost a lot of races, and he's been involved in a couple of incidents this year, so I'm sure he'll want to rectify that for next year, where I'm sure he'll want to try and compete a lot more, because he's been sort of near the middle of the field at most races, but the last few races he's really he's done some good performances. Really, he's taken that extra step to potentially winning a race, and he's doing that currently, leading from 2 seconds from Felix after 10 laps of this race just gone. Danny Van Der Neet is coming down into turn 1 with Miguel Dalarios, and he is going down the inside of our privateer, and yes, he makes that move stick. So that's another position for Danny Van Der Neet. He's up into 10th place. He has a 7-second gap to Fabian Roof, so he has some work to do, but he definitely has he has the potential for the lap speed in his Netrex car, because Netrex actually are the Constructors Champions in the Ace Championship this year, so they've definitely got the car for it if he can do that. And Miguel just making a small mistake there behind Danny, so yeah, Danny is free from Miguel now. Yeah, looking at the lap times, the leaders are still in the 1:11, so this is good, because as I said in warm-up, the option tyres will start to go quite dramatically. So yeah, potentially there is there's the chance for the undercut, but. Just a few seconds ago, Christoph Schoer with Arik Kulak, I think it was, or no, it was Ivan Fernandez down to turn 1. There was a bit of contact and a bit of a half spin by Christoph Schoer, and I think he lost an end plate. I couldn't quite see, so
yeah, I think
that is not ideal. Yeah, that is not ideal for the Ghost Speed driver. But he is still in 8th position after his excursions earlier. And your the man that you quite liked, Fernando Alvarez, he's still showing his pace here in P4. He's keeping with the leaders, so he has the opportunity for a podium here if he can put together a good race today. He's only just over a second behind Lucas Schmidt. That is not too bad. I'm actually going to have a quick look at the results that Fernando has had this season, because I can't quite remember, but he's definitely doing well today. Well, he's got 11 points in the championship, so he's definitely done something, right? Have a look. Unfortunately, he had a accident in Singapore. However, he got 6th place in Suzuka, which was a wet race. So that's not so bad. And then he didn't race last time out. So he's actually only done 2 races in FSR so far, but he's definitely shown some potential here. So maybe for Ace next season, he's someone to look out for, because well, the top 3 in the championship have to move up to WC. So Felix will be moving up, and Callas obviously will be moving up. Same with Heras. So maybe there is a window there for Fernando to do some nice performances next year.
Well, we'll have to see if Felix is the one moving up, or is Lucas moving up.
Well, yeah, well, Felix will have to. Oh, actually, that's a good point. I forgot about that. So yeah, Felix and Lucas are obviously fighting for it. So yeah, I don't think they're going to worry about the rule. They're just going to try and beat each other, obviously, which Felix is winning currently. But yeah, that's a good point. I momentarily forgot that. Thanks for reminding. With 1 point separating them, at the moment Felix will be taking P3 in the championship, but there is obviously some strategy involved where maybe Lucas can help himself.
Christoph scores, trying to overtake on the straight.
Oh yep, he's with Arik Kulak, and he is. Oh, Kulak defends quite aggressively there. Oh, and oh god, I thought Shko was going into the wall there. He got a bit of a loose rear end, and he's going to try and slipstream again down into turn 4. No, oh, there's a little bit far away. Yeah, he's just going to show him that he's there. There, I'm coming for you, and try again later on. But Fabian Roof is now behind Shkoa, coming up into turn. Oh, he lifts off. He backs out of that one. Besides, that turn 6 is not quite the best corner to go side by side into. But yeah, this is a nice little battle that's forming, because Kulak seems to be the slowest of the 3, looking at the lap times last time round. So maybe there's an opportunity there.
Yeah, let's see this time, starting the 3rd sector, if he can get a good run for that corner. I think the last lap Score's problem was that he had a too good run of the penultimate corner, and he didn't get the chance to get the slipstream. Now he got the chance. Let's see if he can overtake on the 1st corner.
God, yeah, Kulak is defending quite nicely actually. I'm gonna have a look at what his top speed was. It's 316, 317 on his own. So yeah, it's one of the higher ones on the field, so it's not going to be that simple for the go speed, but as you can see, there's definitely an opportunity if you can nail that, well, effectively the final corner. Unfortunately, I can't remember the corner names, and I'd probably butcher the pronunciation anyway, as they're Portuguese. So looking at the lap times now, Felix has gone purple in the 1st sector and Lucas Schmidt has gone purple in the 2nd sector. So the tyres are actually holding in slightly better than I thought, because, I mean, their lap times are identical to what they were doing at the start of the race, maybe a couple of tenths slower. So the tyres are definitely holding in slightly better than I thought, especially when they're in a race condition. Generally you push a little bit more and wear more, but no, they're doing quite well. And we're on lap 17 right now, so the pit window will start to open sort of now for the next sort of 5 laps. I can't really see people going much more than sort of 22, 23 laps. Although the tyre wear's looking a bit better, so maybe they can. We'll see if they've got the fuel for it. So looking at the best lap times, the front 5, their best lap times are within a couple of tenths of each other. So the main reason that they've spread out slightly is that Victor must be slightly more consistent at this moment. And yeah, Christoph and I was missing Christoph and Eric battle them on the lap just gone. So yeah, Christoph is really showing he is faster. Well, Eric got a bit of a wiggle there. That is not going to be good for him with the ghost speed so close. And I say that Chelsea Pantelis is the first one to pit, but can Shkoa go past? Now he's bouncing off the rev limiter. Yeah, this is what I said in warm-up. I hope that they've got the long enough rev limiter, because you can get such a long slipstream up that back straight. But no, he can't quite do it into turn 1. Can he do it down into turn 4? He's very close. He's going to have to try it around the outside. That's going to be a brave move. Oh, bit of contact. Slight squeeze. That's going to give Fabian Roof the opportunity. Although, again, turn 6 is not really a overtaking zone. And Chelsea Pantelis comes out of the pits onto the prime tyres in 11th place. This is definitely a nice battle forming here. Christoph, Arek and Fabian. Christoph is trying, he's trying very hard to get close in this middle sector, because he is going to need to be nice and close so that he doesn't hit the rev limiter by the time he reaches Arek's car. We had a bit of a slow final corner there, so not really much of an opportunity, so let's see if Fabian can. Oh, is Shkoa pitting? Yep, Shkoa is pitting. Yes, he puts it in the pit lane, I assume for a set of prime tyres, because the primes can can do very well here, so I assume most people are going to be doing option prime. Maybe something different, we'll have a look. Yep, prime tyres for Christoph. And Dimitri out on the prime tyres still. His lap times haven't actually been awful for prime tyres, so maybe he'll be a factor later in the race, so we'll have to keep an eye on him.
And we'll see now if Parakula can Fabian Ruth pit now, and maybe Square can undercut them.
Yeah, Felix takes to the pit lane on the end of lap 19. Yeah, this will be a good sign. Seeing when Arek and Fabian pit, we'll see where Christoph is, and then we'll know if there's an undercut or overcut. And Fernandez and is someone else? No, just Fernandez are in the pit lane too, taking the prime tyres. When Felix is going to come out of the pit lane very close to Danny Vanden. Oh no, wasn't quite as close as I thought, but Danny's certainly going to be pushing Felix potentially. I wonder how much fuel Victor has taken. Because if he can do this consistent pace for longer, then that'll certainly be a benefit. He is coming in this lap. Gets slowed down nicely as well. Lucas Schmidt continues. So yeah, let's see if there's an overcut or undercut. Alvarez comes in as well. So yeah, lap 20 seems to be a rough estimate for when people are going to take the option tyres. Is that Eric Kulak is in the pit lane as well. Okay, so Victor Ivanov has come out. Where is Felix? Victor's going to be miles ahead of Felix. Yeah. So I think we're still looking at an overcut potential, because Victor is a lot further up the road now. So maybe Lucas is going to gain on Felix, actually. Yeah, everyone else in the pit lane. Danny, Miguel, Ivan. Or Chelsea Pantelis is trying to go around the outside of Dmitry Zarov, down into turn 4, is holding it. Can he keep the inside into turn 6? No, not quite. Oh no, he's going back for it. Oh god, that's close. that was a bit tight. I thought that was going to be a crash there. That was... turn 6 isn't really an overtaken opportunity. So Lucas Schmidt is now in the pit lane as well. Where is Victor? Victor is just at pit entry now. Lucas hasn't even started moving yet. Fabian takes the pit road as well. A lot of pit stops going on at this time.
And Felix is miles ahead of Lucas. I don't know if Lucas put more fuel in or he didn't do a good in-lap or something. He would lost time.
Oh, Christoph Schoer on Danny Van Der Neet down into turn 1. Both have made their pit stops. Oh, this is very close. This is nice racing. Oh, tiny bit of rubbing into turn 1, but Danny keeps the space. And yeah, Christoph is... I think he's ruining not having slightly better top speed, actually. He's going to have a go again in turn 4. Nah, he just backs out of it. I think that was a good choice.
Yeah, Christoph Schoer has a very similar top speed, but I think that maybe 2 kph less of top speed versus his closest drivers. It's hurting him a lot.
Yeah, it's just a few kph too slow to make it easy. I mean, he definitely still can overtake. And we have Felix who just lapped Miguel. Miguel, I might be wrong, but it seemed like he had a bit of a longer pit stop than normal, so maybe he added too much fuel. I might be wrong. So Victor Ivanov, after the first pit stops, now has almost a 4-second lead to Felix van Delft, who is 2.5 seconds ahead of Lucas Schmidt. So the top 3 definitely showing that they are the top 3 in this race as it stands. However, Fernando Alvarez is only a couple of seconds back from Lucas, so maybe he can keep a challenge there. And Dmitry Zaharov, he is still out on the prime tyres that he started on, so this should be quite a good spell for him because, as I said, the prime tyres, they do last quite well, and he's going to be on relatively low fuel now. I mean, maybe he's going to have another 10 or so laps, so yeah, he's only going to have about 30 litres, which should feel quite nice.
Ivan Fernandez DNF.
Yep, Ivan has DNF'd. Let's take a look. Oh, he crashed in the pit lane. That is interesting. I think that was on purpose. I'm not sure why, but that was the second time. Yeah, that was the second time he was in the pit lane because he stopped for the primes a couple of laps ago, and he's back in. Yeah, he stopped on lap 20. So not quite sure what happened there, but maybe he sped and had to take a penalty. That might be what it was. By the way, Ivan Fernandez has DNF'd on lap 22. And Chet Spanselis is relatively close to Dmitry Zaharov here. Does he have the top speed unlike his teammate Schoer? Yes. No, he doesn't. He's banging off rev limiter again, but he's trying to go around the outside into turn 1. That is nice racing. Nice. Oh, bit of a bump from Dmitry. Oh god, I thought George was spinning, but no, he managed to keep it. Will Dmitry give the place up, or is he going to defend? No, he's going to give the. Yeah, Dmitry was giving the place back, but George got a bit close there. Yeah, unfortunately they lost a few seconds, but yeah, George completed that move. That was a nice move around in turn 1, actually. No contact, nice side-by-side action. That's very good. Apart from a slight bump in turn 2, unfortunately, where George went on the grass. But yeah, nice racing. I'm reading in the YouTube chat that Ivan had some sort of pit speed limiter glitch, so chose to retire the car.
Danny Wander disqualified.
Disqualified? What? Ah, okay. He got disqualified just after the line, so he must have had a drive-through or a stop-go and not taken it, because you have 5 laps to serve, and yeah, it was 5 laps ago that he went in the pit lane. So yeah, he for some reason didn't take his penalty, and yeah, he's DNF'd. That's a weird one.
Yeah, 3 DNFs haven't been because of an accident.
Well, yeah, I don't know what was up with Pedro. I think it was just contact and he has suspension damage. But Eric Kulak is out on the option tyres for his second stint. He's only the second person to do so, along with Miguel. And I was about to say he's catching Dmitry Zarov, but Zarov pits on lap 25. So he's going to need to go, or end of 26 even, yeah. So he's actually going to need to go a bit longer on this middle stint, potentially. Yeah, because he might have a slightly long final stint on the options. So he's going to go prime option. Miguel has spun. Miguel de los Rios has spun in the second hairpin of sector 2. So he just went on the curb, on the curb of the exit of turn 9. Hit the wall, lost his front wing, and ended up off the road. Couldn't see who it was, but someone hit his damage, but I think it was all fine. Yeah, Eric Kulak hit the front wing, but seems all good. But yeah, that's Miguel out on his debut, unfortunately for him.
And Score is getting closer and closer every lap to Fabian Ruth. Let's see if we can have a battle, because the other drivers are quite split around the track at the moment.
Yeah, we have Shkoa catching Ruth, and Kulak is also catching Pantelis, but it seems like Christoph has got quite a lot of overspeed on Fabian. He was 0.8 quicker last lap, so yeah, quite a big jump. So maybe they're on slightly different fuels. Yeah, Fabian pitted a lot sooner than Christoph, so yeah, maybe there's a bit of a fuel differential. But he's definitely getting very close right now to Fabian.
And I really want to see Kulak catching Pantelis, because I think it can be a very interesting fight for P5, as we saw Kulak was defending hard but good before this race, and we all know Pantelis is probably, if not the most aggressive driver on FSR, in Ace for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, Christoph was another 0.8 quicker last lap. He's into the 111s on the prime tyres. So this is what I mean. When you get the prime tyres working, they can be just as quick as the options. And but last time around, Kulak was the same speed as Pantelis, so maybe we'll have to wait and see for that. But yeah, coming on to the last sector, Christoph is certainly very close to Fabian. Does he have the top speed? against the ACR. Just about. He's gonna try. Oh, that's close. That was very close. I thought he was gonna put his nose, but no, he chose not to go for that, and yeah, I think that was a smart decision. That was going to be very tight into turn 1, so yeah, he's going to have to line up for another go now, but he is again quicker than Fabian on the last lap. So again, coming around the final corner, Christoph Schoer. Oh, he's not quite close enough, but he's certainly going to have an opportunity. But he's going to have to be big on the brakes. Yeah, he's just nah. Ooh, no, he's going to try it. He's going to try it, or almost a tiny bit of contact. Yeah, he needs to be 10 meters closer coming out the final corner, and then he'll be able to get it, but I think he might have a go down into turn 4. Oh yeah, he's definitely got the run this time. But no, he does. He's not quite big enough on the brakes to outbrake Fabian there. He's a bit closer this time. I think he's ever so slightly closer, but actually no, mate. I thought he was closer, but no, he's actually a lot further away.
Maybe you should try to set up the overtake for turns 3 and 4.
Oh yes.
Maybe that's what he's trying to do, but he's not close enough this lap.
Yeah, his issue into into turn 1 is his rev limiter is just not long enough. So if he had a slightly longer gear ratio, he would be able to sort of get past. But what he's doing is he's sort of stalling because he's just banging off the rev limiter. But in that last lap, Skro actually went quickest in the final sector, even though he wasn't close enough to get a proper slipstream. So Fabian must have had a very good last sector as well, because Fabian actually pulled away a little bit, it seemed.
And I've been keeping an eye on Felix and Victor's times, and Felix is getting closer a bit, not much, but the last laps he's been like 1-2 tenths faster than Victor almost every lap.
Yeah, Felix is definitely going to be trying for this win. I mean, he's only just over 2 seconds away, so with some nice laps, he can definitely do this. And this is actually how he won his race back in Montreal. His pace on the prime tyres was so good, albeit that was a slightly different circumstance because there was a drying track. But yeah, primes are definitely what Felix likes. He was 3 tenths faster than Victor last time, so he's not letting Victor get away with this one, that's for sure. Yeah, Christoph he closes up right at the end of the straight. Oh, but he's very close now. Come round turn 3, got a little bit of dirty air, but keeps in line. Maybe this is the opportunity. This is it. He's got to go past him this time. He's got to try it on the brakes. Yes, he does try on the brake. Oh wow, that was very tight defending by Fabian. That was just about legal. That was some nice racing. Fabian does not want to give up this place. Yeah, that was the opportunity that Shkoa was looking for, but couldn't quite make it. In that battle with Kulak and Chetsipansis, it seems that Kulak isn't actually making that much progress on these option tyres. He basically the same distance.
Yeah, I think he would lost a bit of time. So maybe it's time for Kulak to pit again.
Yeah, let's have a look when he pit. He pitted on lap 21, so it was only 13-14 laps ago. They've still got some time.
So we might have a battle for the lead and P3 in a few laps.
Yeah, Felix is trying. What is this last lap just gone? Yeah, Felix was 1/10 quicker again. So just bit by bit, he's making the time to Victor, which right, it's quite good. I mean, they're both doing pretty consistent lap times, but Victor's sort of 1 minute 12 to 1 minute 3, 1 minute 12.3, and Felix is sort of 1 minute 11.8 to 1 minute 12 flat. So they're both consistent, but Felix is just a couple of tenths quicker. So yeah, he definitely wants this win.
Oh, and Fabian Ruth made a mistake on the last corner.
As I turn away, he does. But yeah, God, he's got even shorter gear ratios. Wow. Or a tiny bit of contact. Yeah, Fabian's got even shorter gear ratios. Wow. He got to 317, very close to limiter. But yeah, let's have a look at what happened into the final corner. He hit the grass on the AstroTurf on the entry, slid through the corner, and Christoph just went up the inside of him. Yeah, that was a good battle though. They did very well for those laps. Christoph was trying so hard, and unfortunately Fabian made a tiny mistake, and that's all it needs. Looking at the last laps, Fernando is quicker than Lucas. Maybe you're right, mate.
Felix is quicker than Victor.
Yeah. So maybe we're gonna have a nice double battle here in a couple laps, but also maybe Kulak and Chet Spencer's after they made their second pit stops and the tyres were reversed. So these drivers pitted around lap 20, wasn't it? So we're probably looking at about another 5 or so laps before the next round of pit stops. And Felix is now only 2.2 seconds behind Victor Ivanov. So that is getting very spicy at the front. He is definitely in the range of, well, if he gets a little bit closer, when he gets to those pit stops, as I said, in 5 or so laps time, gonna give an opportunity maybe to go for an overcut if he took more fuel. Felix was another 2/10 quicker last lap as well. This is this is going to be getting very close soon. Felix, the last 7 laps has just gone quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker every single lap, just by a few hundredths. But yeah, he's done a 12 lap, 11.9, 11.9, 11.9, 11.8, 11.8. Just getting a tiny bit quicker each lap. That's basically the fuel burning off. Wow, and he... What? It says he was a second a lap quicker last lap.
I think the timing, the timing's wrong. He's like same distance.
Yeah, Victor's time on race view is wrong. But he was still 2/10 quicker last lap. Wow. Chet Spencer has just done a purple final sector on his own. Wow. 4/10 quicker than other people. Wow. He must be getting to some low... Oh yeah, he pitted on... He was the first one to pit, isn't he? So he's going on to some lower fuel. That's going to be helping him up the hill. I think for the first time in a while, Victor's actually going to get a faster lap this time. Looking at the sector times. Have a look, what have they done? Yeah, he was 1/10 quicker than Felix, so Victor is not giving up by any stretch of the imagination.
And imagine if you're Felix, and by the way, Tatibatar is spitting and Kulak is spitting as well. If you're Felix and you catch Victor, do you fight for the win or do you secure the 3rd place on the championship?
Oh no, Felix will fight for the win. Of course he was. After it was obvious Callas was going to win the championship, Felix. Well, he basically said that the only thing he cares about now is race wins. So he is going to be going all out for this race win. And fun fact that I can see that Felix and Victor are actually in the same voice chat right now, so I wonder if they are saying anything. that might be slightly awkward when they're fighting for a race win. Because despite the slightly depleted field, the level at the top is still very high. Yeah, last time he stepped up the pace. He just did an 11.6. So yeah, he's starting to use what's left of his tyres. We have 38 laps to go. Is it? No, 28 laps to go. So in a few laps time, I'd say maybe 3 laps time, like 45-ish. I think that's when we'll see people make a pit stop, or maybe in the next couple of laps if they want to get on some fresher tyres.
Felix is flying this lap. He's gonna get close to his personal best this lap with prime tyres. Half a second faster.
7.5. Wow, nice lap. And Chelsea Pantelis has gone onto the option tyres. So he must be doing another stop to the end. He's just gone purple in the middle sector. So is he doing a 3-stop then? Yeah, he must be doing 3-stop. There's no way he's doing 28 laps on the options. No way is he doing that. And not for getting purples. He's just on purple middle sector as well. This might be a fastest lap of the race from George Chatzipantelis.
So then maybe we might see my dream battle, the last laps of the race, Chatzipantelis and Kulak.
Yeah, 11.1 fastest lap of the race from George Chatzipantelis, and he was 0.3 off his own fastest last sector, but he did that a few laps ago on low fuel. So the fuel obviously makes a difference coming up the hill, because you obviously have more weight to push forward. It makes a slightly bigger difference uphill. Yeah, I hope George can finish this race, because he's not finished many races this year, and yes, he's not doing the best this race. In terms of position, but he is at least showing some half-decent speed, which is always good to see. And yeah, Felix was another 0.3 quicker last lap. He's closing right in. He is 1.5 seconds behind at the last sector point. I wouldn't be surprised if him or Victor chose to pit this lap. This seems about where the pit stop window is going to open for them. Finishing like 45. 26 laps to go. Is Victor pitting? No, okay. Oh, Felix pits. Didn't look like Felix was actually going to pit there. So maybe he made the last minute call to try and get some sort of undercut. Yeah, Victor is staying out, Felix is in the pit lane, Schmidt now takes second place, and Fernando will take third. Felix takes obviously another set of the prime tyres for the last 26 laps to go. And somehow in the pit stop phase, Kulak is now 11 seconds behind Chatzipantelis, when there was about 3, I think, before the pit stops. Christoph is in the pit lane as well, taking the prime tyres. Let's see if Victor comes into the pit lane. Unless he's got some good speed, you assume he's coming in. Yes, he is. Gets to slow down nicely. Yeah, the pit entry line, there isn't one on this track, so it's a bit difficult to see because it's basically where the light box is on the right hand side. So I think that's why they are being slightly cautious. And yes, some new rubber, some primes for Victor. So Lucas Schmidt and Fernando now take the first two positions in this race. And where is Felix? Okay, he's coming around turn 1. I think Victor will be ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Felix has lost some time as well, which you would imagine because Victor's in-lap was obviously on a lot less fuel, which is why the undercut is very difficult when you have refueling. But maybe Felix just wanted to try something, or he planned to come in that lap and had to anyway.
Yeah, it wasn't a big loss, but still, it was maybe like a couple of tenths. Not much, but it's a lot when you're fighting for every tenth.
Well, I think he lost about half a second or so. So yeah, not that much, but just enough that he's not quite as close. But does Schmidt or Fernando pit? No, they don't. Okay, that is intriguing. I wonder if Schmidt or Alvarez was slower because they're going for a long prime stint to options at the end. Because at this rate, they only need to go another 3 laps or so, and then they'll be able to use the option tyres. So maybe we'll see a bit of a resurgence from them in the last stint of the race. That could be why they were a bit slower in the first half. Have a look at the Chespantelis again, fastest guy on track still on those option tyres. He's given everything, but he still needs to make another pit stop. So I would assume go in the pit. That drive through. Yeah, Shkoa got a drive through, so he must have sped in the pit lane because he only pit 1 lap ago or 2 laps ago. So yeah, it's unfortunate for him. It's definitely not been Christoph's race. Unfortunately for him, yeah, he has struggled a little bit today, unfortunately. All started with that small incident with his teammate George on the opening lap, put him to the back of the field, and it looks like he's going to overtake. If he gets points, which he will do if he finishes the race, he will overtake DeWaldnell and take 5th place in the driver's standings. So 5th place, Christoph, if he finishes that. It's not too bad, considering how competitive this ACE season has been. And I just looked at the weather, and it seems it's going to stay dry.
Would be nice to start raining now.
Yeah, there is a chance later in the day for 6.5 millimeters, but actually it says there is a potential for rain now until 6 o'clock local, so until 8 o'clock UK GMT time. So maybe we will see some race. However, there has not been a weather update for 15 minutes, so it is clearly dry. Dmitry Zaharov is in the pit lane. He This is his second stop, and yeah, he's done basically 25-25 on the primes, and now he is going to the options for 21 laps. There's going to be a little bit of a struggle as Lucas pits for the option tyres. Yep, that's what I thought. Going to the option tyres. Yeah, he's definitely going to be putting on the pressure on Felix van Delft, but he is going to be excess of 10 seconds behind, I would say. So that's going to be very difficult because the primes are very good. So it seems again Felix is very similar pace to Victor. He's going to have to really try to get just a few tenths. Yeah, just a few tenths every single lap here and there just to try and get a bit closer. He's got some traffic in front of him, does Felix. Dmitry Zaharov, who has just made a pit stop, so maybe he can try and use up some slipstream. And Alvarez pits now. Oh, he's missed his pit lane. He's missed his pit box. So that's just gonna hand Schmidt the position, definitely. That's a shame. That was gonna be very close. That is a shame. So Schmidt did a purple middle sector, so the undercut was definitely on with the option tyres at least, because the prime tyres take 2 or 3 laps to get to their pace, but then once they're there, once they get to their pace, they're very good. Yeah, Felix is 1.8 seconds behind, so this is almost the closest he has been. He's going to need to take just a few more, maybe half a second or so more. Then he'll start really feeling some benefit of a little bit of slipstream and just the fact your rival is right in front of you.
He's only 1.8 behind, so he only needs 1/10 every lap.
Yeah, 1/10 every lap, but against someone who's identically paced as you, that is going to be a tough ask. Fabian Roof pits. He is on the option tyres for his final pit stop. He's going to come out very close to Kulak, actually. God, yeah, very close. Right next to each other, coming out of the pit lane. Who is going to get... Because this is 4 position, so who's going to get the place into turn 4? Kulak's trying around the outside. Yeah, Fabian leaves him room, but just about has the drive anyway. Will Kulak try something? No, he won't. 9 to 10, 6. No.
I think Chachi Pantelis will have to pit not very late, so he might be on this 3 driver button.
Yeah, Chachi Pantelis will need to pit around lap 55 because I think he pitted around lap 40, so splitting 31 laps into 15 and 16, so about 55. Yeah, in a couple of laps' time, maybe he will join this battle. But looking at his speed, even if he came out behind, he probably would catch up to Arek, definitely. And yeah, Felix just dropped away a couple of tenths in the last few laps, unfortunately for him. He is he's sort of waiting for Victor to make a little mistake, really, because Victor has never won a race in Formula Sim racing. And to be honest, he's rarely got podiums as well. He's always been near the top, but not at the top. So we'll have to see how we can cope with the sort of the pressure of that. And the last 54 laps, he's done very well. So maybe he does have the head to keep this. And Alvarez got a purple middle sector last lap. So he's trying. Fix lost a little bit, but he's gained it back now. And Schmidt pits, what? Huh? What? Why is Schmidt pitting? He's really long stop. Is this a stop-go penalty? Why would he have a stop-go penalty? The only thing I can think of is for cuts. Because there's no way he underfueled the car. That is a very strange one. He only pitted a couple laps ago. 5 laps ago.
Maybe he wants to join a battle at the end of the race.
Well, but he's lost 2 positions and he's not going to be able to get Fernando back. He can possibly get George, although, yeah, because George has got to make a pit stop, hasn't he? Yeah. But I cannot understand that. Unless there's something that I missed. That is very weird. Mark in the comments has just said that maybe he got a stop go because if you speed a lot, then you get a stop go, not just a drive through, and that is potentially what it is because yeah, he did pit 5 laps. 5 laps after his last pit. I had forgotten that.
Gonna go on board with Chatsipantelis to see if he finally pits. He should pit very soon.
Oh, he's not pitting yet. There's no way he's going to the end on the options.
No.
He had 30 laps left or something like that. And his lap times are too quick. But maybe he's going for an extra short final stint. And Lucas Schmidt has just gone purple in the middle sector and purple lap time as well, with a 11.0, which is pretty good because in Pro tomorrow, I think maybe some people's qualifying pace will be in the 11s. So with 15 laps of fuel, that's not so bad.
Chatsipatoulos is still not beaten. He's destroying his front left tire.
Yeah, you can see it on the graphic. Yeah. God, yeah, he's been very aggressive on the steering wheel. Very aggressive. Last lap, Victor and Felix did the exact same lap time with only a couple of hundredths difference. And again, Victor and Felix are basically identical with their sector times. See what their lap times are. Yep, identical almost to the 1,000th of a second.
Yeah, and Chatsipatoulos beats this lap now. Let's see where he comes.
He'll probably come out ahead of Arek, depending on how long he stops for fuel. He's only got 10 laps, so 30 litres-ish. Imagine Kulak's going to get him, I think. Or might be quite close.
Yeah, it's gonna be close.
Yeah, I think actually, yeah, he's just going to come out ahead of Kulak. Yes, he is. So, Chase Pantis has about 5 seconds to Fabian Ruth, so let's see what he can do. Oh, it's getting a bit darker. I've just noticed.
Does this mean rain?
Let's have a look.
Is the weather gonna do a WC Hungary style?
Yeah, I'm looking. There's clouds on the radar, but there isn't rain.
And purple sector 1 for Chatsipatoulos. I'm gonna stay on board with him, as I think it's gonna be fun to watch his next laps.
Chaz fancy this purple first sector, yeah. Felix slightly closer again, but we have said that a few times. Joseph Pantelis was over a second a lap quicker than Fabian last time. This this might be quite good from him, this last stint. Although catching Schmidt's going to be hard, but Schmidt's pace has dropped off a little bit from his 11.0 that he did. Basically ripping the tyres. And again, he was about a second a lap quicker. So there is the potential for this position for Joseph Pantelis. And Sergi, your man, Fernando Alvarez, is in a podium position.
Yeah, well, it's not my man, but I'm happy for him. I don't know him, but I'm happy for him.
Yeah, he showed the pace in qualifying, and he's doing the business right now. He's only 18 seconds off the lead as well, which, if you think about it, is what, a couple of tenths a lap on average. So it's not too bad.
Chatsy Pantelis can already smell the real wing of Fabian Ruth. Oh, the sun shining again.
Yeah, it is very hot out in Brazil today. Joseph Pantelis fastest first. Oh wow!
Oh.
Well off the track. Well off the track at turn 4. Yeah.
And we can already see a bit of wear on the front left tire.
Yeah, he's pushing quite hard.
It's hammer time.
Certainly is. Oh, Shkoa has gone past Kulak. What happened there? Kulak went wide at turn 8, just about made the corner, and Christoph Shkoa goes through.
Chatsy Pantelis risking a lot.
Big risk. He wants that place. He wants that top 5. Oh, Chatsapantis is quite close to Fabian now.
It seems like he can't close up the last meters to try and overtake.
Wow, big slide out the final corner for Chatsapantis. Big slide. Not going to put him close enough. Wait, something happened to Alvarez.
I don't know,
Oh,
he lost
yeah.
a bit of time.
Now Alvarez had an awful lag coming around turn 6 and 7. Wow. Oh my. He was going all over the place. Is he disconnected?
Oh no, don't tell me that, please.
Oh, that is a shame. I
Oh,
think
yeah,
Fernando
I
Alvarez.
think he is disconnected.
Oh no, he's back. He's back.
Oh.
He's in P6.
Oh, oh, he's
lost
joining the battle.
What the hell? He is lost.
He lost like half a
40
minute.
seconds.
Yeah.
He's lost like, wow, that is the biggest lag without disconnection I've ever seen. He's just going around fine now. What? Just had another little lag spike. That is, Chatsapantis and Ruth at turn 1. Wow, Ruth has lost his front wing. That is a shame. Let's have a look at this on the replay.
Yeah, we didn't see fully what happened.
Yes, so Chatsapantis goes down the inside, finally into turn 1. Fabian turns in a little bit. Yeah, it's Fabian's fault, I think, maybe. Don't really want to comment, but yeah, turns in a tiny bit. Actually, no. It was sort of 50-50, actually. Then Chatsapantis spins, and then Ruth eventually spins and hits the wall. Has no front wing. That is unfortunate. Yeah, a quick glance, that was a bit 50-50 going into turn 1 between the two. Unfortunately, Ruth lost his front wing when Chatsapantis didn't. But this has given Fernando back his place effectively. He is still quite far behind Schmidt, but 4th is where he would have been had Schmidt not sped anyway. Though Chatsapantis is after him. Ruth takes to the pit lane. That's unfortunate because well, that was a battle for P5, I think it was, and now Ruth is going to be what, 8th position. Felix van Delft is also now 4 seconds off the off the lead. What has he done? Last lap was a 1:16. He lost a lot of time in the final sector. Let's have a look. He was 5 seconds slower in the final sector. Let's have a look at what happened. I assume he's made a mistake or something. Oh, and Alvarez has crashed again. Alvarez has crashed again. Oh, he's had oh, okay. So he's had a massive lag spike, and he basically
And Victorino was gonna finish the race.
yeah, he basically passed the car, parked the car in the barrier.
Victor Ivanov wins his first race in Formula SimRacing.
Yes, we missed that. That was a fun lap. Yeah, Victor Ivanov takes the win here. in Brazil. His first ever win, as you say, Sergi. Yeah, he did well on the Cody's F1 games. He's quite quite competitive in them, but never really had that last little bit in the in FSR. But he showed today that he definitely has the speed, because Felix himself is a race winner this year, and now we get some nice donuts. Lucas Schmidt is coming across the line now to finish third. George Chatzipantelis will come fourth. And Christoph Schkoer will come fifth. And Arik Kulak, decent performance today in sixth place. Fabian Roof lap down in seventh, and Dmitry Zaharov a lap down in eighth. Unfortunately, we had 5 retirements. Fernando Alvarez with some interesting lag. Miguel, who lost it on the curb. Ivan, can't remember. Pedro Gomez, a weird collision at the start, and Danny Van Niet got disqualified. But yeah, Viktor Ivanov is your race winner today in the Desert Brem GP car. Very good performance from him today. He led it from start to finish. He had the pace, he had the consistency. Yeah, I'm sure he's very happy to conclude his season with a race victory. Yeah, this is the last race of the FSR season. The champions were Sander Callas from Netrex for the drivers, and in constructors it was Netrex with Sander and Danny Van Den Niet. But we have had a few race winners here and there with Felix and Victor, Sergi, and Rudy Van Buren. And I have to say, Sergi, as a driver, what do you think of the season? Because obviously you drove in Ace earlier.
It's been a shame that halfway through the season there was quite a lot of people missing, because the season started with a lot of people. But then some races we had a lot of people back as privateers, not this one and not the last one. But overall I think it was a good season. It can seem it's easy to finish top 5 on Ace because of the low amount of drivers, but I can tell you it's not easy to finish top 5. In fact, doing a 100% race distance, it's not easy to finish it, so even though you finish 8th or 10th, it's difficult to finish. So yeah, that it's difficult to finish races, and even more difficult to finish races in a good position. So credits to those drivers who finish, and especially those who finish on the top.
Yeah, the talent in Ace is definitely not lacking. That is to be said, especially in the top drivers. I mean, most of these top drivers can definitely hold their own in WC. I mean, they won't obviously be winning and getting podiums, but they will definitely be there or thereabouts. Yeah, this just about concludes the Ace season of 2017, and yeah, I'd just like to thank everyone for watching. And over the winter, there will be a winter series, which if you want to participate, you can have a look on the forums. There is a thread about the information. And yeah, just generally have a look at the forum if you want to enter FSR. So from me and Sergi, we will see you later.